Hey everybody, welcome back to some more Payday 2 with your host, as always, Mah-Dry-Bread, returning special guest co-host, Veka. I say returning every time, by the way, Veka, in case you're wondering, and you're also a special guest co-host every time. It's a Clone High reference. You don't live in Canada, you wouldn't know, filthy foreign.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, Clone High was an amazing cartoon we had here that was not appropriate for probably anyone, and it was so Canadian that it got banned in the States after 3 episodes for their depiction of Gandhi.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, yeah, Veka's here. He's a YouTube guy and a hitbox guy. There's a link to both of those things of his in the description when you watch this later on YouTube. Unless there isn't, in which case the first comment on the video is going to be yelling at me about that, and I'll fix it as soon as you yell at me.
Yes, definitely.
So, Veka has not played Payday 2. He doesn't know a whole lot about it other than me telling him that it's very good. So I'm going to be selling him on the game today. As usual with these hitbox streams, we're playing it live with fans, so let's just switch this over to friends only. Again, link in the description both on hitbox and on YouTube if you want to add me to your friends list. I just add whoever adds me. And you can just join in and play Payday 2 with me whenever I'm streaming it. Usual rules, you can join in, it doesn't matter if you're level 0 or if you're Infamy level 25, level 100. You can play the game with me. I forgot I have to go appear online now, which is something I always forget. Sorry, chat. Oh, they didn't even yell at me yet. Wow. That's a first. And apparently an update just happened. I think it was mostly bug fixing. So yeah, we're ready to play. I know all of these guys. I know none of them are hackers. So the only rules, join in for 2 heists. After that, drop out, let someone else join in. Unless like everyone cycled through, then just join in and do whatever. And only other rule is don't play with me if you're a hacker, because that ruins all the fun. Which is not an issue, because I know all 3 of these guys. So, yeah. In fact, these 3 are pretty good. I don't know a whole lot about Warlord of England and Ted's yet. I don't know much about him, but I did play with him 2 days ago, and he seemed to be fine. Skay and Nitron I've played with for years now, and they're fucking great. So, yeah, we can rock this no problem. Hey, if we're going to be rocking this with this good of a crew, then I say on rats, let's try 100% rats. Let's do the perfect run. We'll do all the meth. We'll do all the money. We'll do all the day 3 as well. It isn't really a unique name for that. Also, I forgot that. There we go. I forgot to close a thing in the background when I'm doing this without Windows Arrow on. All right. So let's, it looks like everyone's ready, so let's start the heist. Just as a reminder, 1 year? Nah, Nitron, I think you've been here for like 2 years now. Right, as a reminder, I'm currently on my pseudo-medic pistol build for anyone at home wondering what my current build is. I will make a video on it at some point. I'm not 100% convinced that I have the best possible skills for this build. I want to toy around with it a little bit more, test it a little bit more. I'm very happy with it, but I feel like I could improve it. What do I have on car 4? Let's switch over to Rattlesnake. Alright, so I'm running for anyone wondering, because people ask all the time, Rattlesnake sniper rifles, primary, secondary is an Interceptor 45 pistol. If you're wondering about the mods on it, I've done a video 1,000 times on my mods for my Rattlesnake. Wolfed down a bunch of food before this, sorry. Got the hiccups a little. Interceptor 45, there are barely any mods for it. IPSC Compensator, I think, is the name of the compensator, for anyone wondering. Everything else is pretty, you could probably assume, because there's one choice for most categories on that pistol. It's not a very flexible pistol in terms of modifications. Yeah, so I'm mostly medic pistol stuff right now, but I'll have crazy damage output. So I'll explain the heist to Veka while we play. So we're readying up here. This is just the loadout screen. So. We already bought all of the assets, which are, you can spend money on extra things like floodlights to make it easier to see outside, an extra ammo bag for ammo pickups, doctor bag for medical attention, extra vantage point for if you want to zip line to the roof of the building. Stuff like that. Extra grenade case so we can get some extra grenades while we're on the heist. And I'm not going to use the zip line because it's mostly shit. Alright, so this is a 3-day heist. Day 1 of this heist, we're trying to pick up the meth for Hector in this building. We get here and we find a gang has killed all the cooks. But we need the meth, so we're gonna cook the meth ourselves. But because there was a shootout here, because we just killed these gangsters, the police are showing up. So while fighting off the police, we're cooking meth. We need at least 3 bags of it, but you can make up to 9. if you between 7 and 9 unless they've patched that. So while you're cooking the meth and you're fighting, you also need to listen to Bane because he's telling you the instructions he found on Google on how to make meth. And if you put in the wrong chemical, the whole lab explodes, and you have to leave with whatever you've got, and that changes whatever the next how the next day is going to go, whether you have the meth or not to trade for the information.
Okay.
So it's really cool. Also, I am getting a little bit of stuttering. I can't really fix it this stream, though, so that's unfortunate. So we're barricading up some windows here to make it a little bit better for when the cops show up. Smashing out some windows, make it easier to see. I have my taser with me, too. There they are. So, I'm on a Grinder medic build right now. Grinder is my perk deck, which gives you different bonuses. The way mine is built, every time I deal damage, my health starts to regenerate for a set amount of time. And it only works if I have very little armor or no armor. So what I'm wearing is no armor at all, but with a very high dodge rate. So as long as I keep moving, they miss a lot, and every time I pop off a hit, I start regenerating my health. So it's a very fast-moving, aggressive build, so it might be a little bit hard to follow. But I'm good at it. I've practiced a lot. I'm good at twitch reflexes, which is why I'm going for a build like this. So the caustic soda on my end, I'll do it. We got it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm quite overwhelmed right now with the amount of stuff happening.
Yeah, it's a big game, a lot goes on. And I am on a pretty high difficulty, which is why so many enemies are appearing.
Okay.
And I'm sprinting basically constantly because I'm a highly mobile build. I used to mostly play a player dozer, which is the fan name for a build where you're as tanky as possible. You're a player, but you're trying to be a bulldozer, which is the tankiest enemy type.
Right.
Alright, what's the next chemical? Muriatic acid. Okay, so fun fact, the 3 chemicals we use are hydrogen chloride, caustic soda, and muriatic acid. In real life, those 3 chemicals make water. So you can't actually use this as instructions on making meth. Also, which is why it's ridiculous that when if you fuck it up and put it in the wrong order, not only does the order change every time for some reason, but if you put it in the wrong order, the entire lab explodes in a fiery mess. Nice. Which is ridiculous because you're making water. Also, there are many joke lines in where Bane is telling you the information, he gets it wrong, like telling you to put in club soda, or hydrogen chloride, but that might be because it's a Swedish guy trying to do a very good American accent. Which, to be fair, it is pretty good. It's actually, the voice of Bane is also the composer Simon Viklund. He composed the soundtrack for the whole game. Although they did get guest composers for a few songs. Some famous Swedish techno dudes. Alright, hydrogen chloride for sure, because it's less chemical. I'll do this full batch. Alright, we got the last chemical in there, which means the meth will be ready any second. It's blue meth, which I think is a Breaking Bad reference. I don't watch Breaking Bad, so I don't really know. The only TV I watch is the wrestling, which, by the way, have you gotten a chance to watch NXT TakeOver London yet?
Not yet, but I did watch that Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video that you linked to.
Yeah, what did you think of that?
That was really funny, actually, yeah.
I thought that was good. I think it really probably explains what's so fun about wrestling to people who don't watch it, because, like, I think the ending, especially where he explains, like, this, it's not about wrestling, it's a show about a wrestling show, you know?
Indeed.
And it does a great job of that. In fact, NXT last night, because it's on Wednesdays, it's an hour-long show. Last night, for the first time ever on NXT, it was one match. It was with the advertisements, it was a 45-minute long match. And they had such fucking good cardio to do it. It was a 2 out of 3 falls match, which is a classic British wrestling match, where first person to 2 points wins the match. You get a point either because the opponent like DQ'd themselves, like, you know, hit a guy with a chair or something, or you got a pinfall or a submission. It was a 45-minute long match, and it was fucking fantastic between Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe. Holy shit, the crowd was into it, I was into it. So good. That was a great match. Normally I feel like it's a little bit lame when they don't have a lot of matches on NXT. Sometimes like there's a show where they didn't have much time to do it, so they only have like 3 matches and a lot of storyline. I'm like, I could have kind of liked to see another match or two, because usually it's a 5-match show. But that was one match, and I wasn't even disappointed. It was such a good quality match. So good. So, oh god, and because they had such a long time to do the match, they had a long time to really tell the story of the match, you know? And it was a regular, like, you know, underdog fighting up kind of thing, you know? Sami Zayn took the early disadvantage. He lost a point early. Somewhat he lost a point 10 minutes in, which really is not terribly early, but he lost the first point going down to the fucking Muscle Buster. Big fucking scary move. He's like selling that he might be concussed the whole match, and he's so good at acting and like pretending like he's really injured. He makes it really realistic, where he's just barely fighting back enough that the ref is not calling it off and saying he can't fight back. So good. He's just barely hanging on, just barely being able to answer the referee when the ref says, like, do you want to keep going and stuff. Such a good match. Anyway, but back to the video game. So you can see shit's getting more intense here. We're getting pushed back a lot, back into the house. And the reason I'm moving around so much, aside from my dodge rate, you know, trying to keep things under control. Hey, Bulldozer! Bye, Bulldozer! That's one of the advantages right there of my build. So the big green guy there with the faceplates I shot off. That's a green dozer, which is the weakest of the 3 bulldozers, but every bulldozer is a badass, especially up close. I was able to do that when I should have gotten absolutely wrecked, and that is because I'm a high dodge build. If I'm quick enough and I'm healing while I do it because of Grinder, I can get right in his face and kill him before he can kill me. I can't pull that off with most bulldozers, but you can do it with a green one if not too many other people are shooting at you. So, because all the scary things are coming out, like you see shields everywhere and you see tasers and stuff, I'm circling shields because I'm more mobile than most of these guys. So I'm a good guy for it. And the blue guys are tasers, I'm killing them before they can tase us. I'm trying to move around a lot because I don't want them to all end up grouping together and coming through a doorway and just being too much to handle. I just heard General Winter's megaphone. Okay, so General Winter. If General Winter shows up on your heist, then he's a SWAT captain surrounded by an army of shields. And the shields have extra health, so you can't just sniper shoot them in the head through the shield and expect them to fall over dead instantly. They're really fucking tough. But you have an incentive to kill him fast even though he's not advancing on you, because the longer he stays, the stronger the average enemy gets. And if he's really hard to kill. You mostly want to use like grenades and stuff because he doesn't move very much. Shit. So sniper rifles can shoot through shields, but I'm taking the weakest sniper. Actually, I shouldn't have taken the rattlesnake. I forgot. There's another new sniper that I like a little bit more. Whatever, it'll suit fine. With the rattlesnake sniper, you can kill a shield with 2 headshots through the front of the shield because it's strong enough to punch through it, but not strong enough to get through the helmet on the first shot. Other snipers are, but other snipers are less ammo efficient. And again, I'm all about the math when it comes to this game. I always say I'm a Payday 2 analyst. So, it's all about damage potential, damage per second, ammo efficiency, ammo pickup rates, reload speeds, stuff like that. More than just damage.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask. You don't have unlimited ammo. Do you pick some up from the ground? Or...
Yeah, you pick them up from dead enemies or from ammo bags, which you can pick to bring with you.
I see.
Before every heist, when you're picking your loadout, you also pick what assets and stuff you want to bring with you, and you unlock them with different skills in your build, because this game does have pseudo RPG elements. You do build your skills.
Yeah, that's one thing that really surprised me about this. There's so much customization.
Yeah, it's really good. There are 5 different skill trees. You mix and match them. And when you're max level, you don't have enough points to get points in everything. So you really do need to make hard choices. Like, you can't max out more than one tree. Like, if you 100% max out one tree, you've got almost nothing for other trees. I would never recommend... Yeah, I would never recommend going 100% on one thing, but I do recommend... Sorry, I thought they got the wrong chemical in for a second, but they got the right one. I do highly recommend specializing heavily into one thing, maybe even 2, depending on how creative your build is. Like, I got some wacky builds out there. Like, this one's heavily mastermind, because that's where the pistol skills are and the medic skills. So, I'm considered a medic in general, even though there's nothing that directly gives our people health outside of doctor bags, which I carry, and I have upgrades to make my doctor bags last a long time and be especially good. But... my main reason I'm called a medic, I'm going to show you right now, because someone just went down. I can get people back on their feet instantly from a range. When you run out of health, you fall down, you have 30 seconds to get back up before you get in police custody, kind of Left 4 Dead style.
Right.
But if you have Inspire, that's a very, very high-ranking skill in Mastermind that allows you to get someone up in 3 seconds instead of 6 when you're picking them up, but you're defenseless while you do it. If you ace Mastermind, which costs double the points, triple if you're considering that you have to buy basic first, that means that you also have the ability to yell at people who are down and basically tell them that it's just a flesh wound. And then it rolls the dice, and there's a chance they'll just leap back to their feet. Now, if you go down 3 times, then you're in gray mode, like black and white vision, which I call mocha, because it's black and white. So if you go mocha, that means the next time you go down, you go straight into police custody, but you can get rid of mocha and reset your downs, as they call it, which is how many times you've gone down, by using a doctor bag, which I also carry. I carry 2 doctor bags, and each one has 4 uses because I have them highly upgraded. So I can keep people up for a pretty long time, and I can get people up very securely.
Yeah, it sounds like you've thought a lot about the build that you've got right now.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a big part of my job. I'm probably tied for the biggest Payday 2 analyst on YouTube.
Nice.
I would say I'm basically tied with the Noli. And the Noli and I want to do some stuff together because he's awesome. And he's also a horrible trader who fled his home province to go to goddamn what's its face? Birmingham. Oh, I got kicked by a cloaker. Cloakers knock you down in one shot if you're not careful. But they do not count towards your downs in going into custody.
Right. Okay.
So they're mostly to try and punish people who go off alone, and to fuck you over if you don't have many people left. Come on.
I see.
I almost got the dozer too. I have a skill called Pistol Messiah, where for 3 times in a game, if I kill an enemy while I'm down with my pistol, I'll get myself back up. It's very useful because it can bring you back from the brink of a certain death. I think we just lost because they didn't use the buddy system to come and get me. Yeah. Warlord of England didn't follow Skay. Yeah, we died. Alright, to speed things up, we'll just get 3 bags and leave this time. Because you can get up to 9 bags, and that changes how the second day goes. You can also get 0 bags if you want to, and that drastically changes day 2. Because day 2, you're supposed to trade the meth you make for the information on the Mendoza gang. But you can show up without the meth and have a shootout and try and steal the information.
Nice.
Alright, let's do it the easy way this time. So, when you lose, you start on the same day that you lost on. Heists are between 1 and 3 days long, depending on which heist you take. But if you take a pro job version of a heist, the pay is better, but if you lose the contract. So you'd have to re-buy the contract, hope the contract shows up again, and even if you have the money to buy it, which I do, I just buy every contract. Even if you do that, is there still a gang member over here? No, I guess he's dead. Even if you buy it, you'd have to start from day 1 again. So on a long heist, pro jobs can be rough.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They're not any harder, though. Like, the difficulty in Heist is not any harder than whatever difficulty it's on. Difficulty and whether it's pro job or not are separate modifiers. Where was I in talking about the Payday 2 before we lost? Payday 2 Electric Boogaloo. Pay 2 Day. That was as much as I thought the outrage over the skins was really, really stupid and overblown and taken wildly out of context, one of my favorite things is when the Payday 2 subreddit, the Payday 2 logo is like a Payday, it says Payday 2, and the 2 has like a $sign through it. They changed the logo, so it was Pay 2 Day. That was pretty great. That was funny.
Yeah, I'm still not really up to speed about what happened with the whole pay-to-win thing. I know little bits, but not much.
Yeah, I'll give you the rundown. So, one thing you need to understand about the Payday 2 community right off the bat is we have a rampant issue with everyone thinks they know everything about the game, and they don't. It's classic Dunning-Kruger effect, where they know so little that they think they know everything because they don't know the depth of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why if you read the comments on my Payday 2 101 videos, most people are like, oh yeah, thanks for the help, blah, 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 like, thanks for all the advice, it really helped me out kind of things. Every once in a while you'll get like, oh, I got this, like, someone will say like, hey, does anyone have any tips? And then you'll just see this wave of terrible information, like this just, shit that's just wrong. And like, but I killed a bulldozer fast with it once, or, but General McBadass killed a bulldozer with it once, and he's the most popular Payday 2 guy. Here's the thing though, he's just a really fucking good player. Like, if you're a good enough player, you can get away with doing all kinds of dumb shit. As long as you're a really good player. Like, I've shown it before, I've killed a bulldozer fast with the widely considered worst gun in the entire game. It's because I know what I'm doing. That doesn't mean that better guns aren't better, you know? It just means that I'm good enough to pull it off. So my show is just about showing the numbers for people who care. If you want to min-max, I show you how to min-max without you spending hours upon days figuring it out. Because it's not easy to figure out. That's what my show's about. So, that's the first thing you need to understand is a lot of the fan base is very reactionary and doesn't know what they're talking about in any given circumstance. Right. They're very emotional. So they freak out whenever any DLC comes out. They're like, "Oh, this isn't worth it. I quit the game," and then they keep playing. Like
right now.
Like if you click on any of those Steam groups that say like boycott Payday 2, they'll make a Steam group for it, and they'll have like 1,000 members, and you click on it and you scroll through the member list to see what everyone's doing, and it'll tell you if they're in game or not. More than half of them will currently be playing Payday 2.
Yeah.
Like, no one actually does. It's the same people who always say, like, boycott, what's it called? Boycott Call of Duty till they do this thing. Like, boycott on PC, and then, like, half of them are still playing it on PC.
I hate this game, I'll install it tomorrow.
Yeah, and then they just don't. That happens a lot. How long did it take a guy to get the Alienware mask? 3.5 years. He has the worst... Okay, so every time you beat a heist, you get a random drop of an item. Like, it could be a mask, so you can wear it as, like, cosmetic mask design, or it could be, like, different ways, like, different colors of paint to paint your mask and stuff. All kinds of stuff. Like, my mask I wear to heist is custom made. I made it myself. Alienware is a well-loved mask type because it looks good with whatever design you put on it. It was the first mask I ever got, and my friend Guy, it took him 3.5 years of just terrible luck. I don't know how the fuck. Like, it took me less than an hour to get the Alienware mask, and by sheer horrible luck, it took him 3.5 years. Or was it 3 years? 2.5 years? Way too long. More than 2 years. I'm starting to think that the game's only been out for 3.5. Well, actually, he had the game since launch, so yeah, that makes sense.
Are the masks purely cosmetic then, or do they have any skills or benefits?
Masks are absolutely 100% cosmetic.
Okay.
You start with a bunch for free, and then every time you beat a heist, you'll either get spending cash, which you also just get for doing heists. He said hydrogen chloride on my end, guys, but he also sounded really unsure. Did anyone else get a better voice line on their end? Because sometimes he does get the ingredient wrong. Now, he keeps saying hydrogen chloride, so do that. There we go, that was right. Right. You can get a mask drop, you can get a material, which you can make your mask out of to make it aesthetically different. You can get different paint, so that when you put a design on it, it'll be in different colors, and you can have different designs. So there are fucking, like, nearly endless combinations of masks you could make. And you can change a mask every heist. Just have fun with it. So the whole skin debacle. They announced at one point during the second Crime Fest. Crime Fest is a yearly event they do where for 7 days they have like a big rally thing where like, you know, tweet if the game exists or like share it with your friends kind of thing. And and the more publicity it draws, like they'll have like different like goal numbers. Like one thing was buying fuel for the hype train was one thing they did once, which is you get a DLC, you buy a DLC for it's $5 called the Overkill Pack. It's fuel for the hype train. It's $5 and it's basically a live Kickstarter thing where they had different goals and they're like, if we reach this amount of money, we'd be able to make this. So if enough people buy the DLC, then that will be included in the DLC, and the more people buy, the more money they'll have to make more things, and the more things will get included in that $5. So because they reached every single step, for $5, we got a ridiculous amount of content. So they like to do things like that. Or the Crime Fest was things like, guys, what was it? Was it tweets? I don't even remember now. It was so long ago now. I don't remember what the goal was they were trying to... No, it was a community Steam group members, which that's why they're the biggest... they have the biggest community of any Steam game. They say, like, just join the Steam group. It's completely free. It just tells you about updates on the game. And for different numbers we reach, we'll do different things, which included multiple heists and stuff. Well, for this year's, one of the things they included is they said, like, we've included an entire Steam integrated inventory system, skin system, where now, as random drops at the end of heists, you can get safes and drills. The safes... And they're not in-game safes and drills. The in-game ones are like, you know, you put a drill on a safe, and when the time's up, you get a thing from it. It's a big part of heists. That's why some people jokingly call the game Bag Moving Simulator or Drill Simulator. Because moving bags and putting drills up are a big part of this game. Especially moving bags, actually. That actually requires some talent of moving bags without fucking yourself over and everyone else. That's why it's worth investing in skills that let you carry heavier bags and throw them farther. Oh, I forgot I can get a cop buddy. I just got that skill again. There we go. I converted a cop to our side. I'm a wizard. So they did a thing where you can get safes and drills as random drops. You get a safe, and then a drill opens the safe. And inside the safe, you'll get a random dice roll for a skin. You'll always get a skin, you just don't know which one. It'll get a random skin for a gun. Whether you like how they look or not is, I guess, aesthetically up to your tastes. But sometimes, some of them, though the rarer ones, will carry a very slight stat benefit. I'm talking 2 or 3 points. Out of 100 points in most categories. Here's the thing. A lot of people said, well, that's pay to win, good sir. In a much more angry way than that, and they rioted. Here's the thing. As the leading analyst of the entire video game alive, I can confidently say that, I can tell you that your 3 points you're getting in accuracy, your 4 points you're getting in stability, your 2 points you're getting in damage, any of those will never amount to more than an extra hour's worth of practice or less on the video game. In fact, when it comes to something like 2 accuracy or 4 stability, there is statistically no difference on many guns after the rebalancing they did that went alongside with that update. The reason they did that rebalancing is so that the skins wouldn't be overpowered. 2 points of concealment or damage can change the weapon, says Skay. I say 2 points of concealment will not change almost at all. If you look at the time breakdown on how much concealment determines your detection rate, 2 concealment is less than half of a second, Skay, so I'm not agreeing with you there. As for damage, there are extremely slight situations in which, yes, that would help. However, what's also worth keeping in mind is most skins force you to use a certain mod, and that is largely where the bonus comes from. Because of that, there are many skins I would absolutely never use, because it fucks up an optimal build of the gun. In most cases, a high-ranking skin is not as optimal as just building the gun properly with good weapon mods. It didn't break a few weapons, Skay. I wouldn't say that at all. I have not found a single gun in the game that it would break. I have seen ones that it would improve on an extremely slight level. Nothing would be broken. That's an that term is thrown around way too often. Everything's fucking broken to people. You want broken? Look at the locomotive! It's still broken. It's been broken since the first game. It's an unfair gun. They nerfed it and it's still unfair. The locomotive is a really ridiculously good shotgun. So weapon mods are drops. You get them at the end of heists. Or you can do daily challenges, and you can get a dice roll on, like, give me a mod in this category for this kind of gun, and see if you get it. But if you play for long enough, you'll have every mod, no problem. Mods are free. So, because it has Steam you can buy and sell drills and safes if you want. So this is actually another positive. If you don't like drills and safes and you don't care about skins, sell them and you'll get real money for you can buy video games or DLC. So
Sounds like a perfectly fine system to me, to be honest.
Exactly. And then like people are all cynical and they're like, "Oh, drills will be devalued to 2 cents in a day." My response to that is A, you don't know economics, and B, well, if you're complaining that it's horrible and it breaks the game, and you're also complaining that it'll be devalued to a cent for a drill in a day, then why are you complaining? Because now you can afford it.
It can't be pay to win if it's only 2 cents.
Exactly, and here's another thing. They call it pay to win. There is no PvP in this game. It is all PvE, squad-based. If you were to become overpowered, you would only be helping your team.
Yeah, it's a benefit, that's it.
It can't possibly be a negative. So, on so many levels, it was taken widely out of context. And the main thing that people got mad about, and again, it's not that they took this out of context, is that they're not being understanding. It's just people wanting to hate something. Is Alamir, the community manager of the company, said back when the game was first being announced, he said that the game will not have microtransactions, and quote, "Shame on anyone who thinks so." He gets quoted as that all the time. They bash him for over the time so much.
Okay.
And he basically said the same thing as what I'm gonna say, but I said it first on his behalf, basically. He said, "This is probably what happened," and then he came out and said it about 3 months later, because they really dragged their feet on responding to it, because it was kind of an overwhelming thing, so I can't really blame them. What I said is, the company, guys, has tripled in size since they made the game. This was a small studio making a small game. The first game was never that popular. It just had a small cult fan base. They never had any idea the game would be this big. They never had any idea that they would have, like, 50 DLC with, like, all these crazy huge fucking maps for almost no money and all these new guns, and they'd be working with all these companies and doing all these crossovers and working with the Goat Simulator guys and all this wacky shit. They never had any idea that would happen. Shit changes with time. Ideas change. Plans change. So when they make literally the most fair paying, like, what do you call it? A microtransaction system I've ever seen in my entire life. Mm-hmm. How can you get mad? How can you say that they were dishonest to you for that, you know? Shit changes.
People just like to make drama for drama's sake, don't they?
It's so common on the internet. And then I got bashed when I came out in support of them.
Again, the internet.
And then Noli got bashed like a quarter as much when he came out in support of them. And you know who didn't get bashed almost at all for it? General McBadass. In fact, it seemed like the drama died down very suddenly when General McBadass said that he supported it. Oh, what do you know? Everyone's just like in my comment section whenever I make a new video analyzing a gun, what everyone thinks is directly related to not the facts, but the personal opinion of their favorite internet personality. What do you know? Bunch of fucking hypocrites. I don't even dislike General McBadass, although I do take offense to how he said he'd love to be on my charity stream that we host every week, and then he never talked to me again, and I tried to message him like 40 times over the course of a year after that, and I never heard back. I still kind of want to know what that's all about. General McBadass got absolutely shit on? Not compared to us. Jericho, you should have seen my inbox. You should have seen what happened to people like me and Noli. The smaller guys who aren't like the cult of personality that he is. Yet, he got shit on, and then he was completely fine, and in the end, the people who loved him won out. People like me, I still get shit on. Almost weekly. Oh, if I could count how many times people have wished I starved to death. That's the thing that happens. People will look at how I almost starved to death, and they'll say, "I wish you did." Welcome to the internet, motherfucker.
The price you pay for having an opinion.
Exactly. And you see, you know what I don't do? I don't leverage that for sympathy and money. Which is why I never talk about it in the vlogs where I talk about my shitty life situation. Because I don't want people to be guilted into buying me shit. Because that's fucking awful. You want to support my Patreon? Do it because you want to. You want to use my TAD link where you can watch advertisements to get me paid? Do it because you want to support me. Don't do it because you feel guilty. That's a shit reason. Well, it looks like the viewer count is picking up, though, now that the day is getting a little bit later. So that's good. So this is an escape mission we're doing right now. I probably should explain it earlier. There's a chance after doing a loud mission that the cops will get you during your getaway. You'll have to do a randomized escape mission. There are like 7 of them, I want to say. This is the fastest one in the game, though. We're just basically trying to get out of here before the cops arrive. We have 4 minutes to do so, and we're taking all the meth with us. You can leave behind bags if you want to, but we obviously don't want to. So this is just to get to day 2.
What's the benefit of taking more bags to day 2?
More money.
Ah, right, okay.
Each bag is worth a certain amount of money, and because this is the meth that we made to trade to a gang to get info on the Mendozas, we can end this heist a different way. Let's do the peaceful way on day 2 here, guys. It's faster anyway, so I can go on to show more heists.